Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. I haven't done hockey talks in a little while. I wanted to wait with all this stuff until this point now, where the regular season of the NHL is almost over. Today the final playoff spot was decided, so we know the 16 teams that are in the playoffs. We don't know exactly who's playing whom. In some cases we do, like Minnesota and St. Louis or Edmonton and LA, but in the other cases we don't. But as soon as we do that, I will come up with a prediction for the playoffs. So you will see my playoff tree. I also will go back to the predictions I made before the season started. There's a series on the channel, have a look up in the corner. I know already I did quite good in the East. I did not do that good in the West and don't want to talk about the playoffs. Anyway. Tomorrow's video we will have a look at all 16 teams that are in the playoffs, and I will give you a reason for why every team can win the Stanley Cup. But today we will do something else. Today let's talk about all 32 teams and name a Hart Trophy winner for every team. So who is the MVP of which team? 32 names here on my list. I thought about putting them all on the whiteboard, but this would be madness. The board is way too small. So I just wrote them on paper, and I will read you the list and tell you why I picked the player to be the team's MVP. So, a lot of words to start with. Now let's get into the list. 32 teams, 32 Hart Trophy winners, 2022 edition. Okay, let's get it on. Let's start off in the Central Division with the Colorado Avalanche, and I think their MVP this year was Mikko Rantanen. Could notice right away when he was not in the lineup, their goal scoring was not that high as it used to be. Mikko scored 91 points. Fantastic season for him. Minnesota, there can only be one player. It's the Thrill, Kirill Kaprizov, who set a new record for goals and points scored by a Minnesota Wild player. Right now, he's up to 105 points. Fantastic season. For the St. Louis Blues, they have a very balanced lineup. At least 3 scoring lines. Great players. Robert Thomas has a great run. Jordan Kyrou was in a great run. Never forget Ryan O'Reilly. Never forget the defense by Colton Parayko. But I think the MVP of the Blues this year is their goaltender, Ville Husso, who came up with a .921 save percentage out of nowhere. Fantastic season by him. Dallas, the only player that comes to mind, now that 3 players that come to my mind all play on the same line. This is Roope Hintz, Joe Pavelski, and their MVP, Jason Robertson. 40 goals scored for a very young player who was a rookie last year. Great effort, very good season. Nashville, there can only be one. The guy who I think will win the Norris Trophy and should be in consideration for the Hart Trophy. 71 assists by a defenseman, Roman Josi. What a season he had. And he's approaching 90 points as well. So he's over a point a game, which is incredible for a defenseman at this time. Winnipeg. They didn't have that much fun this season. It was quite early clear that quite early that they would not go on a run. I was very surprised about that. I picked them to win the Stanley Cup. Anyway, the MVP is Kyle Connor with 46 goals. Fantastic season for Kyle, but he couldn't drag the team on his own. Chicago. Only one name possible. Patrick Kane, 92 points. He is still the best player by far on the Blackhawks team. And finally in the Central Division, Arizona, it has to be Clayton Keller. On a quite miserable Arizona team, but they were miserable by design. They have 8 picks in the first 2 draft rounds this year. Let's see how this will end up. But when Clayton Keller went down to injury, he had 63 points until this time. You could notice another drop-off right away. The Coyotes, bad by design. Let's see what will happen to them next year, when Clayton Keller, the MVP, is back. So up next, let's go into the Pacific Division. And let's start this time from bottom to top. So, Seattle. They had a quite miserable inaugural season. I think their only bright spot was their MVP, which is Jared McCann, who has 27 goals and 22 assists in almost 80 games. These are not great totals, but the team, they had a miserable season. They have a lot of cap space for next year. Let's see what happens next year. But this year was bad. I think their assist leader doesn't have 30 assists. The goals leader is McCann with 27. Miserable season for Seattle. Anaheim, the MVP, highlight reel machine, Trevor Zegras, 23 goals, 37 assists, 20 years of age. He has a great future, and the Ducks have a bright future, although they will miss Ryan Getzlaf as he's retired right now. San Jose, only one player possible, Timo Meier. By far their best player, 35 goals, 41 assists. Great season. Without him, the Sharks would be in Seattle territory. Vancouver, also only one name possible. No, sorry, two names possible. The second would be Thatcher Demko, the goalie, who had a very good season, but the MVP is JT Miller. I'm very happy the Canucks didn't trade him. Now they will have to deal with his contract next year, latest. Better this year. Let's see what they do. But with 97 points, he's the heart and soul of the team. He's their best player. Vegas. The Knights are out of the playoffs. They are officially eliminated. I saw it live this morning, my time, when they lost the shootout against Chicago. So, who can be their MVP? I think there's only one name possible, which is Mark Stone. He did only play 36 games, and he wasn't himself when he returned from injury. And the fact that he went to injury blew up the whole Vegas team. They couldn't do anything without Mark Stone. Yeah, a little run here, a little run there, but without Stone, Vegas is nothing. That's why he's their MVP. LA. A new player in the lineup, and I always thought and said that this was a great pickup for the Kings, Philippe Danault. 27 goals is not that much, but it's a new career high for him. But for Danault, it's not only the offense, it's the defense and the leadership, and he's doing quite a lot of both. Edmonton, Connor McDavid. Anything else to say? 122 points. He could have gotten more if he didn't have a slump around games 20 to 40. He could be at 150 points easily. He's the MVP still. Calgary. I could have picked three guys. I went with the obvious one. I went with Johnny Gaudreau, who is right now up to 113 points. His previous career high was 99. Absolutely a career year for Johnny Hockey. I could have picked Matthew Tkachuk, who is also over 100 points. Or Jacob Markstrom, who is still the second best goalie of the season and has 9 shutouts. All three had fantastic seasons to bring Calgary to the point where they are now. They won the Pacific. Respectable. Johnny is still the MVP. Okay, let's head out east. Let's start with the Central Division. I'll go top to bottom there again. Carolina won the division. Their MVP is Sebastian Aho with 80 points. I thought about Fredrik Andersson, but they also played very good in front of Antti Ranta. So Andersson is a factor, but not the major factor. I think this is still Sebastian Aho. The Rangers, it's Igor Shesterkin. Clearly, 935 save percentage in the running for the Hart. I think he will win the Vezina. He must win the Vezina. If he doesn't, who else? Shesterkin is the Rangers MVP. Pittsburgh. It's still Sidney Crosby. 31 goals, 53 assists. Another great season. He didn't play every game, but when he's not there, you notice right away. He's still the guy for the Pittsburgh Penguins. And I don't see that this will change in years to come. Washington. A guy who has his 9th 50-goal season this year. It's Alex Ovechkin. He's still the captain. He's the MVP, the best player on the Capitals. For the Islanders, it was pretty hard because they were out of the playoffs felt in December. Of course, not mathematically eliminated, but yeah, they had no chance. Latest in December. The MVP, I think, is Brock Nelson with 36 goals. He had a great season. Let's see how the Islanders bounce back, if they bounce back next year. Columbus, this was hard. I picked Patrick Laine, who is now at 56 points in, I think, 58 games, so almost point a game. Not bad. He has 30 assists, which is good for him. He could score a little more. We'll see. New Jersey. Jack Hughes. 56 points, almost point a game player. And that he is out now for some weeks, yeah, really increased the Devils' chances to get a better draft pick. That's how to say it. And finally, Philadelphia, and I think this was the hardest pick I had to make. And there's only one guy that has a respectable plus minus. There's one guy at Philadelphia who is a plus 10. That's Travis Sanheim. Defenseman, 79 games, plus 10. Unbelievable on this team. Sanheim did it. So that's why I think Travis Sanheim is the Flyers MVP this year. So finally, the Atlantic Division. From bottom to top again. Montreal. I thought about Carey Price because he almost did not play the season. I thought about Shea Weber because he didn't play at all this season, and the Habs had such a miserable season. Everything went wrong, but okay, I decided not to blame the current roster fully, so the MVP is Nick Suzuki, 60 points, not bad. Let's see how the Habs will do next year, because they cannot have another miserable season as this one. It's not possible. Ottawa. Drake Batherson. He is a point-a-game player. I think he has 44 games played. He has 44 points, which is still fourth in scoring on the Senators. That's good. If he plays next year full 82 games and stays a point-a-game player, which he absolutely can, because the Senators will be better next year, the Senators could be in the run for the playoffs. Drake Batherson must be a major factor in that. Detroit. And that's why I'm wearing this jersey. This is, of course, my Dylan Larkin jersey, because I wanted to wear a jersey of someone who is on this list. And I decided, okay, let's pick Dylan. He is clearly the Red Wings MVP, 69 points, which is not bad. I think he had 65 games played, so over point a game player. Really, really good. The Wings made a big step forward this year, not only because of Yzerman or Seider and Raymond, the rookies, but also Dylan Larkin is now not only the captain, but the leader of the team and the best player right now. Buffalo, the Sabres. After the Jack Eichel trade, many people thought, they would collapse. They did not. En contraire, they improved. I think they won the Jack Eichel trade. They have $10 million off the books and have a guy in like Alex Tuck, Peyton Krebs, especially Tuck, who I think should be the next captain. And they have a very, very bright future. The MVP this year was Tage Thompson. 37 goals, 30 assists, basically out of nowhere. Playing with Tuck and Skinner. The Sabres, they won 5 of their last 6 games. Tage Thompson is a major factor in that. Boston. 2 names possible, Marchand and Pastrnak. I decided David Pastrnak was this year's Bruins MVP. 39 goals, 36 assists, very good season. And when he was out for a time in, I think it was March, April, around this time, the Bruins immediately lost 3 in a row. You could notice right away their goal scoring is not there. Their scoring is not there without Pastrnak. Pasta, the Bruins MVP. Tampa. Surprising return by this guy, Steven Stamkos, who is at 101 points. Congratulations, Stammer, on that. Great season. Let's see how the playoffs turn out. Stamkos, the Lightning MVP. Toronto. It could only be Austin Matthews, 60 goals. will win the Rocket, has good chances for the Hart. Let's see how this turns out between Matthews and Shesterkin and Roman Josi. I think these three guys should be the finalists for the Hart. Let's see who will win. Austin Matthews has good chances. He is the Leafs MVP. And finally, Florida, the team that will most likely win the President's Trophy. We'll see. 2 games to go. For the Panthers, their MVP with 85 assists, Jonathan Huberdeau. He is not only the the leading scorer of the franchise, the all-time leading scorer of the franchise. I think he was this year unreplaceable for them, their best player, their MVP. Alright, that's it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And tomorrow I will come back to you with 16 reasons why 16 teams can win the Stanley Cup. See you tomorrow. Have a good time. Goodbye.